Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira, a mitzvah that comes from an Aveira. So it's pretty well known, Gemara and Sukkah, that if you go ahead and you steal a lulav, and an etrog lulav hagazel, then you're going to have a problem with the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah that comes from an Aveira. It would seem that if you apply this to Hanukkah, same thing. So a person is in a dorm, and he runs out of oil. So he goes, let me use someone else's oil for my menorah, for my Chanukiah. He has permission, and it's quite possible that the other Talmud, the other student, did not want to lend out. It's not lending, it's giving. He's taking the oil. It could be he didn't want that. He might have a limited amount, and he doesn't want people to take it. So then that would seem to be a case of a Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira. At home, if you have siblings, you have family members, and they have their own oil, then that could be a problem too if one takes from another without permission. So it's a very big sugya. It's a Gemara and Sukkah, and then there's a lot of analysis. But just a summary is that in the Shulchan Aruch there's discussion by matzah, whether matzah can be used which is stolen, and the Shulchan Aruch paskins not. Some say it's because there's a specific limud drasha about matzah. Others say no, it's a classic example of Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira. It's a mitzvah that's coming from an Aveira of stolen matzah. So the Biur Halacha there, Pesach, says, what about maror? If I steal maror? So then he says, well, it's an interesting question. Do we say that Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira is a problem when it's a rabbinic mitzvah? Maybe that's only an issue with the Doraita mitzvah from the Torah. He says if we want to see more about that, you have to go to Taf Reish Mem Tet, which is the halachot of the Arba Minim. And there the Shulchan Aruch says that stolen minim, the 4 minim, if someone stole it, the 4 minim, then it is not a problem except for the first day. And after the first day, it is not mutter to steal, obviously, but one would fulfill the mitzvah. And the Ramah says, no, even the other days one does not fulfill the mitzvah. And the Biur Halacha there says, and the Mishnah Berurah there says that has to do with the concept of Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira when it is a Mitzvah Midrabanan. Do we say the concept of Mitzvah Habaah B'avaira on a Drabanan mitzvah? So it turns out to be Machlokas Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. And then going back to Orach Chaim, the Mishnah Berurah writes, what is one yotze by oil that's stolen on Hanukkah? And he says, tzarach and it's not so simple. Because we're talking about a rabbinic mitzvah on the one hand. So maybe there's room for leniency, but it's not so simple. Because just like by maror, there's a question if it's stolen, and just like by the Arba Minim, when it's a Drabanan status after the first day, it's a question. So too over here. So it turns out, of course, in terms of lumdus, it's a fantastic sugya that needs to be analyzed more. How to differentiate, why to differentiate between a Doraita mitzvah and a Drabanan mitzvah. That needs to be looked into more. And L'Maaseh, a person should be extra careful on Hanukkah when he's in the dorm and there's different bottles of oil, to be very careful that he uses his own. A, of course, he should never steal, obviously, and use something without permission. And B, he may not be yotze, the mitzvah of Nair Chanuka, if he's using stolen oil. Shalom.